Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now live at 4 and our new home.
First day on our new set. It feels like we're throwing a little bit of a housewarming party, doesn't it?
It debuted last night on News 3 at 10 after the Super Bowl, and we're going to show you around a little bit later on. So
that's right.
Welcome.
A lot of people worked very hard on this.
Hundreds of hours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're very proud of it. Of course, we had the easiest job of all, but as Mark said, we'll take you on a little tour in just a little while.
But first, here's what's making news on this Monday. A Madison man has just been charged in federal court in connection with a missing Tennessee girl who was found in Madison. Amy Reed will have the latest.
A Madison Lyft driver is accused of sexually assaulting one of his riders. Our Rose Schmidt is on that story.
And as the president prepares for a possible emergency declaration, more federal troops are being sent to the border.
Let's take a look outside on this Monday afternoon. It was kind of gray and foggy, a little rain.
But the polar bear had to come out and say, hey, what happened to all the snow?
Yeah, no, he's going to like it, though, because it's going to get a little colder.
More messy weather ahead. Dana Fulton finally made it to the backyard again after a week of being stuck inside.
They weren't letting me outside there for a few minutes, but now again the polar bear weather is setting back in. I think I may be able to go back inside here pretty soon. Our temperatures have been falling all day. We actually hit our high right around 10, 11 o'clock this morning. We've dropped about 5 degrees in the last 24 hours in Madison, but notice off to the west, a lot cooler air towards the eastern Iowa and eastern Minnesota. The temperatures there have dropped quite a bit just in the last 24 hours. Right now, our wind chill puts us at about 30 degrees in Madison, closer to 28 in Janesville. Overall wind chills again throughout the state, sitting close to where we were yesterday, but off to the west, the colder air is moving in, and that's really what we're planning on as we head into tomorrow. Currently, it's very cloudy outside. Tomorrow, it is going to be much colder out, and we're looking at a little bit of a temperature roller coaster this week. Not nearly as high or as low as what we saw last week, but a little bit of wiggling over the next few days. We're going to drop it to the mid-teens overnight, and by tomorrow afternoon, only looking at high temperatures in the upper 20s for us. So it is going to be much colder outside for your highs. I want to take a look on the roads also. Overall, we are actually seeing quite a bit of green on the roadways. It's been good news for a lot of drivers. I know that the melting snow is going to lead to some ice concerns for us over the next few days, but as temperatures right now are starting to fall below freezing, it is going to become a concern even as we look at tonight. Downtown Madison, not seeing any major delays. Even the Beltline actually looks okay right now. We'll keep an eye on it over the next hour or so and see if we start to see a few brake lights. Sauk County all looks well up towards the Dells. A lot of green on the interstate, and Janesville and the Jefferson also looking just fine at this time. Your drive times, again, with green on the interstate, means your drive times are usually in a good spot. From the Beltline to Janesville, it'll take you just about 26 minutes. From Middleton to Sauk City, about 16, and then northbound downtown up to Sun Prairie, also just about 16 minutes. So drive should be smooth. Again, please give yourself just a little extra time because any moisture on the road's not a good thing for us, and we are going to be talking about some very slippery roads for the middle of the week in just a few minutes.
Yeah, I was concerned about all these wet roads and sidewalks, and now it's getting cold.
Yes, yes, and it's starting to pool up in some spots too, just in the yard and on certain corners of the road. So ice is definitely going to be a concern for us over the next few days.
Slip on the yak tracks.
Be careful.
Walk the dogs. All right, Dana, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana. First at 4, a Madison man is facing a federal charge of creating child pornography, and more charges may be coming.
Amy Reed joins us live from the courthouse downtown Madison, where 31-year-old Brian David Rogers just made his initial appearance. Amy.
The reason this was in federal court is because it ties back to that missing Tennessee girl that was found in Wisconsin last week. Here is the guy that we're talking about, Brian David Rogers. He's 31, from Madison. His family was watching here in court today. What the U.S. court is saying is that Rogers made contact with that 14-year-old girl through an online game. They go on to say that when she told him she was being sexually assaulted back in Tennessee, he asked her to send video of it. The prosecution told me that's the same video that was found on her phone that led to charges for her attacker last week. The prosecution said they're also considering adding a charge of transporting a person across state lines for sexual activity, since the complaint alleges Rogers went to Tennessee and brought the girl back to Wisconsin, but the prosecution is not certain that they will add that. Now, this is just the very beginning of the court proceedings, but if Rogers is charged, he's looking at a minimum of 15 years behind bars.
Amy Reed, live at the federal courthouse downtown. Amy, thank you.
Madison police are investigating after they say a woman was sexually assaulted by her Lyft driver.
Police arrested 28-year-old Hassan Ahmed yesterday. Rose Schmidt is live downtown to explain what officers say led up to the incident. Rose?
Yeah, so police say that the sexual assault happened inside an apartment here on Langdon Street and that the victim gave detailed information to police leading to that arrest. Now, this all happened just before 2 a.m. on Sunday when a 25-year-old woman used the Lyft app to get a safe ride home. The driver got out of the car and convinced her to let him inside by asking her to use the bathroom. A spokesperson for Madison PD says the majority of people transported using rideshare services are taken safely, but called this a horrible case.
Victim's doing all the right things, getting a ride home with someone she thinks is going to be safe. This guy's pushy and convinces her that he really needs to use the bathroom. She reluctantly lets him in to use the bathroom, and then she's sexually assaulted.
All Lyft drivers undergo third-party background checks, which are rerun each year. Officials with Lyft say they deactivated the driver after hearing about this incident and reached out to the woman to offer support. The company also released a statement today calling the allegations deeply disturbing and saying the safety of the Lyft community is their #1 priority. They say they have no tolerance for this behavior. Back to you.
Rose Schmidt live in downtown Madison for us. Thank you.
Virginia's governor is not stepping down despite widespread calls for him to resign over a racist photo. Governor Ralph Northam initially said he was in the 1984 medical school yearbook photo and apologized, but then changed his story on Saturday, saying the person in the picture is not him. Virginia's House Speaker is the latest politician to call for Northam's resignation. Republican Speaker Kirk Cox says impeaching the governor is a difficult option.
I think there's a rightful hesitation about removal from office because obviously you have to consider that to some degree you're overturning an election.
If Northam steps down, Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax would take over, and he's facing his own issue, an allegation that he sexually assaulted a woman at the 2004 Democratic National Convention in Boston. Fairfax says the story published by a right-wing website is completely false and amounts to a smear campaign.
The Pentagon is sending more than 3,000 active duty U.S. soldiers to the southern border as the president continues to threaten a national emergency to get his border wall. But a new CBS News YouGov poll shows a majority of Americans are not on board with a national emergency declaration. Nicole Killian has more from the White House.
3,750 U.S. troops are headed to the southern border. They will be installing wire barriers between ports of entry and providing support to Customs and Border Protection. This comes as President Donald Trump continues to make his case for stronger border security.
We're going to have a strong border, and the only way you have a strong border is you need a physical barrier, you need a wall.
In an interview with CBS Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan, the president would not rule out another government shutdown or a national emergency declaration to get wall funding.
Would you shut down the government again?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens on February 15th. And
you're not taking it off the table?
Well, I don't take anything off the table. I don't like to take things off the table. It's that alternative. It's national emergency.
A new CBS News YouGov poll shows that a majority of Americans do not want the president to declare a national emergency in order to build a southern border wall. 66% of Americans are against it. Even Senate Republicans are unsure how a national emergency declaration would turn out.
Do you think there are enough votes in the Senate to approve of Trump's national emergency declaration?
Well, we'll have to see what would happen. That would all probably play out in court some way, but the preferable way is through the appropriation process.
Ahead of his State of the Union address Tuesday night, the president told reporters he would make a decision on declaring a national emergency soon. In Washington, Nicole Killian for News 3 Now.
And Congress and President Trump have a February 15th deadline to avoid another partial government shutdown.
Pope Francis is on a historic trip to the United Arab Emirates. The 82-year-old leader of the world's Catholics is the first to visit the Arabian Peninsula, a region known for restricting religious freedoms. The Pope was welcomed in a lavish ceremony that included a parade, guards on horseback, and a military flyover at the presidential palace. Tomorrow, the Pope will deliver the first ever papal mass in the UAE.
The UW campus cleaning up after a number of buildings suffered from burst pipes as things warmed up over the weekend. The worst of it happened at Vilas Hall. A pipe burst between the 6th and 7th floors overnight Sunday, causing a substantial amount of water to leak down into lower floors. Faculty and staff were allowed to enter the building this morning to retrieve their belongings and clean out offices as crews worked to clean up the mess.
We're all a little bit stunned by it all right now, and just trying to figure out how this is going to play out the next few days.
Vilas is scheduled to be closed through tomorrow, but UW officials are anticipating it could be closed longer than that. Affected students, faculty, and staff will be notified directly via email with any changes. Stocks close higher on Wall Street as investors await several major earnings reports. The Dow Industrials added 175 points, closing at 25,239. The NASDAQ Composite Index gained 83 points. The S&P 500 was up 18. Well, the New England Patriots are back home after another Super Bowl win.
The team landed in Providence, Rhode Island this afternoon aboard their own private jet after beating the Los Angeles Rams in Atlanta Sunday 13-3. This is the Patriots' 6th Super Bowl victory.
The big game received different coverage from the newspaper in New Orleans. Super Bowl? What Super Bowl? The headline reads, in fact, the whole front page. Of course, many fans of the New Orleans Saints felt their trip to the Super Bowl was taken away from the team after a no call by the refs in the National League Championship game, a no call that sent the Rams to the big game instead. And we see how that turned out.
Should the Monday after the Super Bowl be declared a holiday? Well, that's because upwards of 17 million people call in sick after the big game. Experts believe that $1.7 billion of productivity is lost due to workers arriving an hour late to work the next day or standing around chatting about the Super Bowl. They call it the Super Bowl flu on a Monday.
Something to think about.
And we're going to talk about the ads, the commercials, Super Bowl commercials in a little bit.
Yeah, Andy Wallman, a local ad exec, will be here to tell us which ones hit the mark and which ones didn't. Well, we'll head to the movies with our film critic Will Loper when News 3 Now Live at 4 continues.
We'll find out what Will thinks of the new thriller Miss Bala. That's when we come back.
showed up. The police been one step ahead. You better do what you need to do.
Tell me, he has a mole in his operation.
I have a plan. I'm gonna come back for you.
Tell me lies. I'm gonna hurt you.
That was a clip from Miss Bala, the only real new movie to open this past weekend.
Is the movie worth seeing? Here to let us know what he thinks is our film critic, Will Loper. Hi, Will.
Hi, guys. Well,
the trailer looked good.
Trailer looked good, but this is a mostly forgettable action thriller pick that features a fine performance by Gina Rodriguez, but besides a few thrills, isn't worth the full price at theaters. So Gina plays Gloria in the movie, who is out partying with her friend when a drug cartel breaks in and kidnaps her friend. Gloria talks to a policeman who turns out to be part of the cartel. They tell her in order to save her friend, she just has to do one job. Well, one job turns into two, which turns into three. Soon the DEA gets involved, not believing she's so innocent, and Gloria has to find a way to play both sides to survive and save her friend. Now, the movie has a few good scenes of tension, including one where Gloria's trying to drive through the border with a car filled with cash, but otherwise, this is a pretty by-the-numbers thriller that doesn't bring anything new to the table.
It sounds good on paper.
Sounded good on paper, it's all in the execution, and this one didn't pull it off.
There have been several movies recently, though, along this theme of drug cartels, and I don't know, do you think maybe people are getting a little...
The market may be getting saturated with that. Yeah, we saw Sicario Dave the Soldado this past year, which wasn't that great either, so...
And the Clint Eastwood one?
Yeah, the Mule, absolutely, that's right, yep.
All right, so what's your rating?
I give this one 3. Gina Rodriguez is out of 5. She does good, but she deserves a better movie.
All right. Yeah, she's a great actress.
Yeah.
All right, next week.
We got the Lego Movie 2, the second part. Early review.
Is that redundant?
It is, but I think that's the tongue-in-cheek nature of the movie, and I really liked the first one.
I did too.
Yeah, you guys liked it, so I'm looking forward to it.
Better tomorrows.
That's right.
All right, Will, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be right back. Well, take a look at this. The streets in southern New York town looked like a dance club after a power outage left street lights flickering for hours. Roughly 1,700 customers in Johnson City were affected, and officials believe the strobe effect was likely due to the sensitive LED lights detecting remaining electrical current during the outage. Eventually, power was restored, returning the lamps to normal. That's not sped up.
That's wild.
That is wild, and it went on for a long time.
Well, yeah.
You have a stroke or something. Anyway. One thing we didn't have to worry about.
No, it has been a very busy couple of months for us here at the station, but now we are settling in to our new home.
Yep, we left the old main news desk in early December for constructing this new one.
Yes, Chief Photographer Mike Van Susteren has condensed all of that down to just 40 seconds for you.
And thanks for joining us for News 3 at 10.
And just like that, it's easy. Our new home behind us features 2 large monitor walls. We're going to use these to tell stories of Madison and our surrounding communities as clearly as we can and like never before.
Now, myself and the weather team, we have a brand new home as well.
Snappy.
It's sharp.
And our main desk features our new logo. Get used to it, News 3 Now. I want to thank everyone involved in this process, including the station ownership for saying okay to us.
That's right. It's very exciting, and that video really shows all the people and all the time that it took.
That was 2 months
to make
worth.
this happen. Yeah.
Condensed down. We were in the other room, but
Listening to it all.
Our new home.
What's going on in there?
Hope you like it.
It is. It's fantastic. It's nice to be inside right now because it's about to get a little colder, so thank you for bringing me back in. Temperatures are going to drop for us. We're out of the 40s now, and we're in for a cool down for the next few days. We'll take a look at the forecast right after the break. We still don't have a clear sky, but thankfully it is getting just a little clearer at the surface. Now, I had this camera shot pulled up last night, and we were trying to see through the fog where the Capitol building was. Of course, at night, usually it's a beautiful shot. The light's coming right through the fog. Last night, this shot was completely black. I checked to make sure the camera was still on, and it was just that densely foggy outside. This morning, also super dense. But the fog, thankfully, clearing out for us now. Still cloudy outside, but conditions, again, at the surface improving for us. Today, we hit a high of 45 degrees. Not quite record-breaking, but still well above average. In the mid-40s, it was a little more like early April rather than early February. Our low this morning was 45. We hit, or 35. We hit 45 actually pretty early on in the day before noon. And since then, we've had a cold front just sweeping through Wisconsin, and our temperatures have been falling for us. Here's where we're at right now. Notice that cooler air off to the west. It's continuing to sink southeast. So we're going to watch our temperatures continue to fall overnight. And then as we get into tomorrow morning, it'll be a little closer to average as we look ahead to your Tuesday. Now, we have added alert days to the forecast for Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday. We are looking at some snow starting to move in late in the day on Tuesday. Freezing rain possible, especially south of Madison, and that could really lead to some slick roads early on Wednesday. We have a break there on Wednesday. We're going to get a little chance to get some salt down, maybe get everything inside, and then freezing rain and snow developing again late in the day on Wednesday. Thursday, the snowfall extends throughout the course of the day, and it could lead to some slick conditions again Thursday night. Because of this, we do have a winter weather advisory. It goes into effect at 6 p.m. Notice areas east of Lone Rock. That goes from Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Overall, this precipitation isn't going to move in until late on Tuesday. You're probably going to be home with no problems with your evening commute. The freezing rain is right along the state line with showers expected to the south towards Illinois. We have a break throughout the day on Wednesday, but then Wednesday night that moisture comes back in for us and stays throughout the day on Thursday. We're looking at light snow chances throughout the day on Thursday. May see a little bit of accumulation, but the concern here is really the possibility to see that ice accumulate along with the snow and lead to those slippery roads. Looking ahead at our snow accumulation potential by Wednesday morning, areas up to maybe an inch for central Wisconsin. Again, not a major snow event, but after how much we've seen our snow depth decrease over the last few days, might be nice to get a little fresh blanket down for us. Again, snowfall totals not a huge concern. Looking at our ice accumulation totals, though, any ice certainly not a good thing for us. And we're looking at barely even a few tenths of an inch, if that, for much of the area. So not a major concern, but something that you'll need to keep an eye on and keep in mind for early Wednesday and early Thursday. By Tuesday morning, we have winds out of the northwest. Temperatures are going to drop into the teens for us early Tuesday. By Tuesday night, here comes that precipitation. Again, the freezing line right along the state line, and the further south we can keep it, the easier it's going to be for us by Wednesday. Wednesday, the break is actually for most of the day. Clouds are going to stay around, but the precipitation doesn't come back in until later. Notice our temperatures over the next 12 hours continue to fall for us. By the morning, it is going to be just a little chilly outside. 16 degrees to start off your Tuesday. The breeze coming from the northwest, anywhere from 8 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy and much colder. Remember, we started today at 35 degrees. Tomorrow, a high of 28, so right at average. Very seasonal day for us. Light snow building in late, and we may see some freezing rain for some of the area. Because of that freezing rain potential, we do have alert days for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Your weekend doesn't look like it's going to hold any precipitation, but it is going to be pretty cold outside for us for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So after a roller coaster last week, falling to 20 below and then climbing up to 40. This week we are on a mini roller coaster. Thankfully, it is a little tighter, though, a little more seasonal for us for the next few days. Not spring yet. We can wait.
And not 30 below either.
No, we could just balance out for your February. Stay a little steady. It'd be nice for us for at least a week.
Watch out for the ice.
Absolutely, that's the concern right now.
All right, Dana, thank you.
Thank you, Dana. Well, PayPal is used by millions of people to make payments.
But now scam artists are using the trusted name to rip people off. Dorothy Tucker explains.
When Indica Mosley and her brother Charles needed extra cash, the two college siblings decided to sell some of their pricey sneakers.
We pay a lot of tuition, so we figured that we would give our parents a break and kind of try to, help out with groceries and gas and do stuff on our own.
They listed 23 sneakers on an app called Bump. In the blink of an eye, they had a buyer willing to pay nearly $3,000. Their reaction?
Excited.
And eager. So when the buyer suggested the siblings get off bump, avoid the $180 service fee, and use PayPal instead, they agreed.
And they said they would send the money right over, and they sent it.
You've got money, read the email.
So we shipped out the shoes, and we pretty much waited for them to get there, waited for the payment.
And waited. And waited some more.
I called them and texted them and left voicemails.
Nothing.
I was really upset.
Reality set in. The PayPal email was fake. They'd been scammed out of 2 payments, totaling nearly $3,000 for the sneakers.
It just blows my mind that everything was fake.
What made this email nearly picture perfect, according to cybersecurity expert Eric Chanten, the flawless blue logo, no spelling errors, the correct size font, and the kicker, the security link takes you right to PayPal's official page. Here's what's fake about this email, the address.
So you can see on the blue side here, it says at the very end, it says @mail.com. So that should have said @paypal.com.
Mosley's far from the only consumer falling for fake PayPal emails. On the BBB scam tracker, we found nearly 100 complaints.
So this is the house.
Mosley shipped her sneakers from Baton Rouge, Louisiana to Crete, Illinois. Someone at this house signed for them.
We're looking for the people who received $3,000 worth of sneakers.
After a 10-minute exchange,
they never got the money. Does that surprise you, or
I don't care.
You don't care?
Mosley did contact PayPal.
They told us that there's nothing that they could do to help us because it didn't come from PayPal.
The company does offer advice on its website.
Think you're on a spoof site or got a fake email posing as PayPal? Just email it to spoof@paypal.com. We'll take a look and reply shortly.
Experts say even if you get an email of a payment, make sure you check your account to confirm it came in. Dorothy Tucker, CBS News, Chicago.
Those scam emails look so real.
Oh, I know.
It's
You
really
be so
scary.
careful.
And here's one more tip from consumer advocates.
If you start to sell something on an app, it's always safer to stay with that app and finish the sale, even if it means you pay a fee. That does offer you some protection.
Yeah, that's
be
good to
Be
know.
very careful.
When we come back, be prepared to add a new member to your family.
Marissa DeGroot from the Dane County Humane Society is here with Nike, our pet of the week. We'll find out more about this guy when News 3 Now live at 4 continues.
He's selling it.
Here's a live look at the UW Memorial Union. It looks cold, but it's not that cold.
There's some open water there on the lake.
Be careful going out there. Well, it's time for Potentially Yours here on Live at 4.
Marissa DeGroot is here from the Dane County Humane Society. Hi, Marissa. Hi. You know, when you get some new furniture, you just got to get some dog hair before
it makes it really feel like home.
That's right. We're breaking it in with Nike.
Yeah, this handsome guy is Nike, and he is only 10 months old, so he's still a young pup, but he's probably not going to grow too much more.
Now, Nike only has 3 legs.
He is, so he is a tripod here. So when Nike came up from a shelter down in Mississippi, we noticed that he wasn't using his front left leg. There was an old injury in there that hadn't healed, and so kind of the best bet for him to have a healthy, happy life was to remove the leg. But I tell you, it does not slow him up at all.
Yeah, he's getting around just fine. I mean, you don't really have to adapt anything for him, do you?
No, he's still running around. He still loves jumping into the snow, so he's going to do great.
He's so comfortable right now, but he had no problem walking into the studio, walking up on the set, so they really adapt quickly.
They really do. And what I love about Nike is he is such a snuggler. At 10 months old, they can normally be kind of crazy pups.
Look at him.
But look at this guy. He will sell out for those belly rubs. He just wants to snuggle up in bed with you.
Aww.
And he's fully recovered at this point? I mean, he's got an incision, but...
Yep, he does have an incision. Why we got his little sweater on him right now. But he's all good to go. We're just looking for a house for him, though, where he can kind of be the king of the castle. He tends to be a little bold when meeting new pup friends.
And he's watching people in the background here. He's pretty intent. Look at that face. What a handsome guy.
He really is.
All right, go to Metcalf's.
Yes, so all month, go and buy your groceries at Metcalf's, because if you show them one of the little paper coupons or a digital one, they're going to donate 5% of, or actually they're going to take off 5% off your bill, and then they're going to give that 5% to Dane County Humane Society.
That's pretty generous.
Well, that's very
generous. So you're going to save
generous.
some, and it's going to help animals in need.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That is great. Good for them. All right, last time.
Oh, we had him.
Gigantic.
The big cat.
We did. A big old Chip, and he did get adopted. We were so excited for him.
That's great. Look at that face, too.
Yeah, he was a great
I'm glad he got a home. All right, Nike.
Yeah, let's make it happen for this guy.
Does the bone come with?
Oh, yeah, that could definitely
How about
come
the
with
sweater?
Sweater, too. We'll
Throw it all in. All right, let's get Nike a home. Go to the website, giveshelter.org, for information on him and all of the animals available. And there we go. 838-0413, the number to call. GiveShelter.org. Marissa, thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa. Great to see you. Good luck, Nike.
Good luck. See you later. When we come back, well, we all know who won the Super Bowl last night, but who won the ad battle?
Local ad executive Andy Wollman joins us with his annual list of the best and the worst of the Super Bowl ads. That's when Live at 4 continues.
So we're starting to see just a few little spots with brake lights slowing down for us. Those isolated areas, of course, looking around the area of downtown, of course, where we're seeing the slowdowns. A few spots, but thankfully, no accidents. And as you can notice on the Beltline, it is once you start getting closer to 51 on the eastbound side that we see the slowdowns, but overall things are okay. Looking up towards the Dells and throughout Sauk County, we're also seeing a lot of green. Things should be fairly smooth, and towards the southeast corner of the area, also looking okay for us right now. Drive times from the Beltline to Janesville, just about 26 minutes. Looking from Middleton to Sauk City at about 16 minutes, and then downtown to Sun Prairie will only take you 17 minutes right now. So your drive time should be fairly smooth, just seeing that little delay on the Beltline. And that's a quick check of your traffic.
If you're
So we actually hit our high temperature early this morning before noon, and throughout the afternoon we've just been falling. Right now we're seeing temps close to 30 around Madison, but notice off to the west, that's where the colder air is, and it's going to be shifting in. Tonight we're going to fall into the teens, and we're looking at a chilly day for your Tuesday. And our next opportunity for some moisture is going to creep in for Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Thursday. Because of this, we've added alert days to the forecast for the potential for some snow and freezing rain that may make roads a little slick as we look ahead to the middle of the week. That's a final check of your forecast.
Well, thanks, Dana. The game is over, and now it's time for the Monday morning Super Bowl commercial quarterbacking.
An average 30-second spot came in at a whopping $5 million this year, and one of the most talked about ads was the NFL's 100th anniversary. Take a look.
The moment and everything else that makes you say, oh boy. Fumble! Oh!
Boy, this is a great party.
He's open. Russ?
First down.
I got you, Tony.
That's the cake.
USA Today's ad meter poll chose the NFL spot as the best of this year's Super Bowl ads. But what does KW2's Andy Wallman think? That's what we really want to know.
And he is here with his annual visit post-Super Bowl.
Hi, Andy.
Hi, guys.
How overall, what do you think?
I thought the ads were a lot like the game. There were some interesting moments, but nobody dominated. Nobody just took over and ruled the whole game like Tide did last year. It was a little quieter in that sense.
Now, which was your favorite? What was your number one?
I liked a couple of them strategically quite a lot because the point is to sell. If you're spending $5.3 million for 30 seconds and the time and money that it takes to make the ad, you want to sell stuff. So I thought Stella and Bud Light did the best jobs with strategy in ways that could impact the bottom line.
What did Stella do right?
Stella brought the two biggest 90s cultural icons, the Big Lebowski and Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City, together. They're both known for ordering specialty drinks, and the whole strategy of the ad was to say, mix up what you order once in a while, try something else once in a while. It was funny, star power with celebrities. It was a good ad.
And the Bud Light ad, that hit a lot of right buttons there.
They hit two right buttons, Mark. I thought strategically they went after the competition by saying Miller Lite and Coors Light have corn syrup. Corn syrup's the big bugaboo, the bad guy right now. Causes obesity. It's terrible, and that strategically was really smart. And beer wars are huge, so that'll be talked about for a long time. The corn industry's already upset. This will be discussed. The second thing was how culturally they seized on Game of Thrones. That was smart. So to be competitive and strategic, poking your competitor in the eye, and then being cool. We're aligning ourselves with the coolest contemporary thing right now in culture, Game of Thrones. That was a smart 1-2 punch.
Bud Light is cool now.
Yeah.
All right, so,
I won't go that. Well, it was a smart strategy.
Okay, let's take a look at the Hyundai commercial.
Great,
This is pretty funny. Let's take a look.
Hello, folks. What floor?
Oh, we're car shopping.
Ah, you're going down. Way down. This floor, root canal.
Oh, this is bad.
Okay, 6-hour flight, middle seat. Who's got vitamin C? This floor, the top.
Your body's changing.
Car shopping, off you go.
No, sorry, we're getting a Hyundai.
Yeah, we used Shopper Assurance. It was really easy.
Hyundai, going up.
So what they do right there?
It was a classic Super Bowl formula. You got a big celebrity, Jason Bateman. You've got a good insight. Buying a car stinks. And then the funny, ways that they presented that. The root canal, the talking to your teenage kid about the talk. All those things are hard. We make buying a Hyundai easy. I thought that was a really good strategy. And a local connection, a good old buddy, a great Madison guy, Mike Rock. He went to L.A. about 30 years ago to be an actor. He's the dad in the scene when the elevator goes down. He might have had the line of the night. Even Grandma's body is changing. It was funny.
That was
good
funny.
strategy.
Another funny one was Alexa with the dog food, the dog ordering his own dog food.
Yep, that one puzzles me. If you remember last year, Alexa had a similar ad where stuff wasn't going right. Same formula, Super Bowl formula. A lot of celebrities, a comedic script, really great production. Harrison Ford and a dog, come on. So it was classic. It was very, very cute. But they keep talking about how Alexa's not working so great. And this technology theme came through a lot. We saw robots and technology working and not working. I thought it was interesting strategically for Amazon Alexa to say, it doesn't work all the time, but we're lovable. We got a dog in Harrison Ford.
The dog likes it.
Try it anyway.
And there's a very powerful message ad from the Washington Post.
Yeah, you know, statements and announcements are what Super Bowl ads seem to be about. It used to be all announcements or entertainment. Now a bunch of brands want to make statements with values. And Washington Post saying journalism, democracy, these are important things in our country. For a media company to do that is really ironic. I can't remember another media company advertising in such a way during the Super Bowl. Microsoft hit it out of the park, too.
That was my favorite one, and that's the one I'm still thinking about today.
Verklempt, yeah. And it really hit so many great points and messages saying technology should be accessible for all. The way they did it was just beautiful. Is it going to sell a lot of Microsoft stuff? I don't know. But it was a really positive way for them to take a stand on something that's important to so many people.
What companies missed the mark?
I didn't think Pepsi really took the crown like you'd expect a Coke or a Pepsi. Coke had an interesting pregame ad. It was about inclusion and coming together. Pepsi said, hey, you know, ordering a Pepsi, that's okay. corn syrup, by the way. And then they sort of broke a cardinal rule of advertising. If you want to get somebody to feel something, you don't tell them how to feel. You elegantly, strategically, using insights, bring them there and make them feel it. You don't say, feel this way, feel this way, feel this way. And that's what they did. I thought the wind turbine ad for Budweiser, it's an important message to say it's great, change up how you do your technology to make your beer. But the Clydesdales and the Dalmatian and Bob Dylan's Blowing in the Wind, it felt just a little flat. It felt a little too simple for me. I thought they missed an opportunity, those two.
And the NFL ad, the 2-minute NFL ad, was USA Today's #1.
It was by a mile the best football played all night. It was the most exciting football played all night. But and it's a fun ad. It's really great to see all those old timers and the Dolphins, the 72 Dolphins in their jackets. That's fun. My dad would have loved that ad, but it wasn't selling anything. It wasn't telling me anything. It was. I have no reason to rush to the NFL now for anything new. I thought that's how they missed the mark a little bit, but America loved it. #1 at the USA Today ad meter.
There's a lot of great commercials.
As we're talking about today.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully for some it's selling. That's what they all want out of this, is to move the needle.
That's from an ad man.
Yeah.
Andy, great to see you again.
Good to see you.
Thank you, guys.
Let's not wait another year before we do something.
Okay, we'll see you next year.
Okay. We'll be right back with a final check of your forecast. And tomorrow here on Live at 4, what would it be like to blog in 1916?
That's actually the subject of a hilarious new book, so we'll meet the author tomorrow at 4.
And also, Consumer Report says if you're looking for a used car, be careful. It might be a rental car. They'll show you what to look out for.
In today's Final Touch, call it a golden opportunity.
And at the same time, a city in Colorado has gone to the dogs. Organizers in Colorado put together a gargantuan gathering of golden retrievers. It was in honor of International Golden Retriever Day and was hosted in the city of Golden, of course.